everyone, and welcome to My Zone Online School. My name is Teacher Mutsa, and I have my friend today joining us for our lesson. Hello. For our lesson, or rather our theme this week has been autumn. And before we get into our lesson, it's very important for us to sanitize our hands. Remember, you have to sanitize your hands every time so that there are no germs that will come onto your hands or anybody else. And also to protect yourself and everyone around you, you must check your social distancing. So make sure that you're not close enough to touch anyone. Our lesson today will be about nouns, pronouns, digraphs, blends, and diphthongs. Let's start our lesson on page 17. On page 17, we are talking about nouns. Now, we know nouns from grade 1, but let us try and do them again. Every name we call a noun. A rose, a doll, a hen, a crown. A noun is the name of a person, animal, place, or a thing. Your job is going to be to choose the words from the list below and to write the correct column, in the correct column. The columns that we have there are person, place, thing, or animal. Now, there are no pictures to help us, but we do have the word box below. You can see that from the word box, we do have a number of words that we need to put in the correct column. Let's take a look at the word student. Now, student can be someone who is studying at school, just like you, and we can't call a student a place. We can't call a student a thing. We can't call a student an animal. So a student must be a person. I'd like you to please write the word student in the column for person. Let's move on to the next word in the word box, bat. Now there are two types of bats, but I think the bat we are looking at is a creature. Now a creature can't be a person, a bat can't be a place, a bat can't really be a thing in this case, but a bat is an animal. So I'd like you to write the word bat in the column animal. Let's take a look at the next one. We have the word pencil. Let's see. A pencil can't be a person. A pencil can't be a place. I don't think so. A pencil can't be an animal either. Oh my goodness. But a pencil can be a thing. It's something that we use to write. So write the word pencil under the column thing. Let's look at the last word there in that word box, which is mall. I love going to Groove Mall, especially when they have cheap things for me to buy. Let's see, is Groove Mall a person? I don't think so. It's definitely not a thing. And I'm sure it's not an animal. But a mall is a place. So you are going to write mall under the column place. Now remember the rules of a noun, that it is a name of a person, animal, place, or a thing. And when you're filling in the rest, please make sure that you check and say, is it that thing? Let's move on to the next exercise on page 18. On page 18, we have pronouns. Now, there is nouns and there are pronouns. What we were dealing with before are nouns, and these are pronouns. These are words that replace a noun. So it jumps into the place of a noun. And our pronouns can be I, me, she, we, they, who, that, yours, his, her, or it. You can see that there are some pictures there to show some of the pronouns that we have. And it also says in each of the sentences below, write a pronoun from the word box to replace the red noun. So we know what nouns are. We have been doing them. And they are the words that we can see in red. And if you see them clearly, these are the same words we need to replace for our pronoun. Let's read number 1 together. Number 1 says, James is having a birthday party today. The word that is highlighted there in red is James, and we need to find a pronoun in our word box to replace the word James. Is it it? Is it he? Is it she? Is it they? Or is it him? Remember, when we are making sentences, the sentence needs to make sense. Otherwise, it is not a sentence and it is not English. So we will choose the word he to replace James. I would like you to please write he is having a birthday today on the lines provided there. You are going to do number 2, 3, 4, and 5 by yourself. Remember, when you're writing a sentence, you start with a capital letter and end with a full stop. Make sure that your sentence makes sense when you're using the word box so that you don't make any mistakes. And if you want to be super duper sure, can you please cross out the word you have used from the word box so that you don't use it again? Let's go to page 19. On page 19, we have digraphs and blends. Now, I'm sure you know that when we started learning how to read, we had letters, and those letters made sounds. Now, when 2 or more letters are together, they don't become just sounds, but they become digraphs. So we have a couple of digraphs that are shown there, and we are going to read them together. But before we do, it says, digraphs are a combination of 2 letters that make one sound. So we have our sound sh, then and ch, and the last one we have is k. What I would like us to do is that we are going to do the sound. First, we are going to sound the words we can see and then say the words together. For example, we have sh, r, k, shark. That's the word that we're going to say. So we first sound the word and then we say the word together. We're going to do the first block that we can see there. I want you to do it with me because this is how we learn how to read. And don't worry if you don't understand the sound. There's more than one for each. So let us try and do it together. Remember to look at the picture because the picture can also give you a clue on what the word is. Let us go together. Sh, r, k, shark. Thumb, ch, air, chair, whale, lunch, earth. Fish, black. Now I'm sure you noticed that there are some letters in words that were quiet, and that's because we don't say them. For example, in the word whale, we don't say whale-e because the E is quiet. And in the word thumb, we don't say thumb because the B is quiet. I want you to practice all these words by yourselves. Take a look at the sounds and say them out loud. Then you say the word that you can see. Remember to use the pictures to help you read all these words. I want you to do it by yourself and for anyone who's at home. And remember to have fun with this. I hope you enjoyed this exercise. Let's hope you had no problems with your last exercise. Let's now move on to page 20. On page 20, you can see that we have a sound. That sound is oi. Now, oi can come in two forms, O-I and O-Y. But both of them say oi. And they're used differently in different words. Let's look at the board. On the board, I have our two sounds O-I and O-Y. If we're looking at the sound oi, we know that it is a long vowel sound that can be used to bring two consonant sounds together to blend them into a word. So we are going to choose which oi sound can be used here. Here we have b and then a dash. So if we were to add the oi, it would say b, oi. But which oi are we going to use? Is it O-I or O-Y? Which one do you think we should use? Point to it. For the word boy, O-Y. If you got this correct at home as well, well done. So the word boy for O-Y. Then we have the word spoil. Do we use O-I or O-Y? Which one do we use? Point to the one that we use. Yes, we use O-I. So our word will become spoil. Now, I'd like you to look back at your exercise on page 20. You are going to do the same. You are going to choose which O-I or O-Y for each word, like coins, okay? And the rest I can't do for you because I know you are clever. Once you're done with this, this will be the last exercise for our lesson. I hope you enjoyed yourselves, grade 2s and 3s. I know I did. Now, before we say goodbye, it is very important that we sanitize. So please take your sanitizer. And remember, sanitizing is not just to protect you, but the people around you. So make sure you sanitize very well. And make sure that they are dry as well. Don't forget to practice good social distancing by checking in front of you and beside you as well. But I wonder, I haven't seen our little friend Zashi. Hello, Zashi. So, from my friend Zashi and I, we would like to say goodbye.
Hi everyone, I'm back, and if you are scared of what you read on social media, talk to your parents and ask them the questions. They know everything. Until next time, bye!
Everyone, and welcome to my Zone Online School. My name is Teacher Mutsa, and I have my friend here joining us for today's lesson. Let's say hi to everyone at home. Hello, everyone. Our theme this week has been autumn, and we have been talking a lot about autumn. But before we get into today's lesson, we need to sanitize our hands. So please take your sanitizer. Well done. Remember, sanitizing is very important. That is why everywhere you go now, everyone is sanitizing. And make sure that your hands are dry once you're done sanitizing. Also, it's good to check your social distancing. So you put your arms out in front of you and also by your sides as well. Very good. Today's lesson is about synonyms, antonyms, and poetry. Our first exercise for today can be found on page 26. On page 26, we will be discussing synonyms and antonyms. I know these are very weird sounding words, so let's say them together. Let's say the word synonym. Very good. Let's start with the synonyms. Now, a synonym is a word that means the same or almost the same as another word. You can see that in the yellow column, all the words that are there mean the same as another word or almost the same. Start can mean begin. Pretty can mean lovely. Quick can mean fast. Large can mean enormous. Scared can mean frightened. And so on and so forth. If you look at me, I am a woman, but I can also be called a lady. So a synonym is a word that means the same or sounds like has the same meaning of another word. Let's now go to antonyms. Let's say the word antonyms together. Very good. Now antonyms are words that have the opposite meaning of another word. These words we already know, but we didn't know that they were antonyms. For example, loud can mean soft. Fast can mean slow. And so on and so forth. You can look at the board for an example. Here we have two men, but there is an older man and a younger man to show that they are the opposite of each other. So an antonym is a word that means the opposite of another word. Let's now turn to page 27 for our exercise. On page 27, you can see we are going to change those words into synonyms, the ones that were underlined. Let's look at number 1. Number 1 says, Tommy liked watching the huge elephant at the zoo. The word that is underlined there is huge. If you look at the synonyms that you can find, another word for huge can be big or large. So you can write the word big. Let's take a look at number 5. Number 5 says, Sarah's bedroom is very tidy. The word tidy is the one that is underlined there. And you have to think of another word that means tidy. Another word that can mean tidy is neat. So you can write the word neat. The rest of the synonyms you are going to do by yourselves. Let's take a look at antonyms. Remember, an antonym is a word that is the opposite of another word. If you look below, you have a table, and it is also asking you to change the underlined word. Let's look at number 1. Number 1 says, my teacher gives hard homework. I hope your teacher does not give you hard homework. Let's take a look at our table. We have so many words there, but I think the answer is easy. So the opposite of hard is easy. So you can please write the word easy in the space provided. I would like you to also cross out that word easy so that you don't use it again. Let's look at number 6. Number 6 says, I like a cold lunch. Oh, I'm sure nobody really likes a cold lunch. So let's look for the proper word there. If you look at the box, we have the opposite of cold, which is hot. So we can put the word hot on the space provided. And the sentence will read, I like a hot lunch. Now that sounds a lot better. The rest of these sentences you can do by yourselves. But remember, a synonym means same meaning to its word, and an antonym means opposite from the word that is given. Good luck. I hope you now know the difference between synonyms and antonyms. Remember, synonyms mean the same and antonyms mean the opposite. Now let's take a look at our exercise on page 28. On page 28, we have another beautiful poem, but this one is mainly for the grade 3s. Let's read it together. Remember, when you are reading something, make sure that you read it 3 times. I am going to read it with you twice, and you will read it by yourselves for a 3rd time. The poem is called Autumn Leaves. Autumn leaves, they flutter as they fall down to the ground. They whisk and twist, they dance, but they don't make a sound. Quiet, oh so quiet, they whisper on their way, landing in a pile in which we all can play. And that is our poem today. Let us try again. This time, if you'd like, please read with me. Autumn leaves, they flutter as they fall down to the ground. They whisk and twist, they dance, but they don't make a sound. Quiet, oh so quiet, they whisper on their way, landing in a pile in which we all can play. Wonderful. Now I'd like you to please turn to page 29. On page 29, there is an instruction there for you that says write your own poem about autumn and draw the pictures of autumn in the space provided. So, you know what autumn looks like. We have been talking about it the whole week. We have said about the leaves, the wind, and what you can do during autumn, as well as what you can wear during autumn as well. So I'd like you to please use your imagination as well as the things that you know about autumn. The other instruction that is below is to start each line of your poem with the letter on that line. So, for example, we have the letter A at the beginning of that line. which means that your word must start with A. Remember, your poem needs to rhyme and make sense. So please take your time, think about the words you want to put on your poem before you write it. And if you need some inspiration, I want you to please think about what you like about autumn. Is it the leaves? Is it the colors? Is it the weather? Is it the warm coffee you can drink? Or is it the playing in the leaves? I really want you to enjoy yourselves and be creative. Hope you have fun. Good luck. Now we have a special treat for you here. I'd like us to please sing about autumn. We have talked so much about autumn that we now need to sing about it. Let us now turn to page 30. On page 30, you can see that there is a lovely song there for us, talking about the leaves falling and where they are falling. The first one says that it fell on my nose. The second one fell on my toes. The last one fell on my head. And then it tells us the different colors of the leaves. We have yellow, orange, and red. So we are going to sing this song together. You, me, my friend, and Zashi. Are we ready, everybody? Are you ready, Zashi? Okay. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, go. Leaves are falling, leaves are falling. One fell on my nose. Leaves are falling, leaves are falling. One fell on my toes. Leaves are falling, leaves are falling. One fell on my head. Leaves are falling, leaves are falling. Yellow, orange, red. Wow, I enjoyed that. Sashi, did you enjoy that? Wonderful. Did you enjoy that? Very good. So, as always, when we are done with our lessons, we need to sanitize our hands. So let us take our sanitizer. Very good. Rub inside and round, and make sure that they are dry. Also practice the social distancing. So, from my friend Zashi and I, we would like to say goodbye.
Hi everyone, I'm back, and if you are scared of what you read on social media, talk to your parents and ask them the questions. They know everything. Until next time, bye!